Okay, we're on there. You know what? We're on here. Good morning.
Good
It is
morning.
me, Maris, and it is the breakfast show. And Aline is out of town with a family emergency, and so I have Julieta Fernandez here with me today,
Good morning,
and
everyone.
she's going to be my partner in healing. So I hope you're having a most wonderful Wednesday. We are taping for YouTube as well as the Facebook Live. So I hope you're having a most wonderful day. We've got a couple of things today that we're going to talk about. And first and foremost, oh my goodness, of course I get up a little bit early this morning, and what is the one trend that I see on Facebook and etc. is folks talking about sleep hygiene. Why am I awake at 3 o'clock in the morning? Why are my kids awake at 4 o'clock in the morning? I think even my daughter-in-law had mentioned to me yesterday that one of my grandkids, my grandsons, was really kind of sleepy and etc. and had been staying up at night. So sleep hygiene, I'm an old retired nurse, and sleep hygiene is a really big deal to me.
Of course, for everybody.
Because if you're not getting good sleep, then your body's not repairing, it's not healing, it's not growing, it's not doing that appropriate metabolic activity.
Exactly.
So I'm throwing in that big nursey word, but one of the things that we learned in nursing school, and being I was an ICU nurse, and then I also did nursing on the floor, was you really had to promote this atmosphere for sleep. And so I'm going to run through a couple of things that I used to teach my patients with or my clients with on promoting sleep hygiene. Do y'all wear pajamas?
I do.
Pajamas.
Yes,
Now,
I do.
even if you're sleeping buck, even if you sleep buck, beforehand, you can start in what I call sleep hygiene or a routine. And one of the things to do is change into some comfortable clothes, whether it is a robe or sweats or a gown.
Yes.
Not an evening gown, because then I'm worried about ripping it.
Then you're not gonna get to sleep.
Oh no,
you really won't.
You're gonna be going out dancing or something else. But I put on, like yoga pants and a t-shirt. For me, it's take off the bra.
Yes.
And that gets pitched across the room, but starting to change into something that's a little bit more comfortable. And then you start dimming down the lights.
Yes, important.
And how about you get your oil diffuser on? And I have a couple of oils that I like to promote over at the Guru Nanda brand, and you can get these at Walmart and their pharmacy. They have calming sleep.
It's a tool. It's a good tool.
Excellent tools.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah.
To help you calm your mind down, because it's very important.
Yeah, especially if you're the kind of person that your mind races a lot. Putting a little of the calming sleep in your diffuser and letting that diffuse either in your living room, your bedroom, wherever you're starting to chill out. Create this ambiance. Some folks like lavender. I'm not a real big lavender fan.
I like lavender.
I like fresh lavender, but like the essential oils, I'm kind of like, yeah, lavender's okay. But lavender, especially when you rub it on baby's feet or your children's feet, is really an awesome way to promote that rest and relaxation so that those kiddos can relax and get some sleep going on. Now, I'm laughing because frankincense is another really good one. This is the Guru Nanda brand from over at Walmart, $5.94 in the pharmacy. And I'm laughing because it says, help stay focused, centered, and relaxed. Okay, so am I focused or am I relaxed? Or am I focusedly relaxed or am I relaxingly focused?
Right.
But try it.
We have to try it to experience it.
Oh yeah, frankincense really kind of mellows me out, kind of puts a little bit of happiness I don't know about the focus part because I get really uber relaxed
Well, you
with
can
it.
focus in getting relaxed.
I call, it's a good meditation oil.
Exactly.
One oil, and I don't have a bottle of it today. Here, I'll put these over here.
Okay.
One oil that I don't have a bottle with me today is cedarwood oil. And we'll just pretend this is cedarwood for a moment. And I'll only do it with the frankincense. All right, so if you're having sleep difficulties, I haven't done this with children. This is what I do with adults. A lot of time we have this gland back here that's called the pineal gland or pineal gland or your third eye gland,
Third eye.
whatever you want to call it. And it has some very important functions. And one of the functions is it's going to help secrete and produce melanin, which we think about our skin. It's going to help, it's going to produce and secrete melatonin, which is for our circadian rhythm or our sleep cycle. And then it also produces and secretes serotonin, which is our happiness. That's our mood stability, that chemical for mood stability. And so when your pineal gland, and this will usually happen when you're after 30, unless you're having a calcium problem before then, but you'll get a calcium buildup around the pineal gland. And so cedarwood oil, remember we're pretending this is cedarwood oil. So cedarwood oil, what you do, and you do this for 21 days, is you take the cedarwood oil and you put a drop of it
in your third eye.
On that third eye, or that pineal gland right between the brows. And what it does, and you do this at bedtime, and what it does is it helps to decalcify the pineal gland so that you are effectively producing and secreting your serotonin, melatonin, and your melanin, which are really important.
Right.
As serotonin, again, is your mood elevator or your mood stability. And then melatonin, we have to have melatonin or we're not going to be able to really get any good, effective sleep.
Yes.
So cedarwood oil is another oil that's really excellent at promoting good sleep hygiene.
All right.
All right. So we've talked about
having a good sleep.
Having a good sleep
lead us to a good attitude in the morning.
That's very true. That is very true. A good sleep does lead to a good attitude in the morning.
Good mood.
And then we're also able to, what I call connect on that etheric layer. It's really important to do that. Another thing that is very important in sleep hygiene, electronics in your bedroom. No.
Yes.
Electronics in the bedroom, they emit these different kind of frequencies and they can be very disruptive to your sleep. But more importantly, they're disruptive to that pineal gland. And so that will create some sleep disturbances. And when we have sleep disturbances, our body does not heal effectively. Yes. What happens is we end up being fluffy. Okay, she's not fluffy, I am. We end up being fluffy, we end up being tired, we have more bad moods, we're more susceptible to infections.
You feel tired.
Flus, colds, tummy aches, the cootie bug that's been rolling around. We're just more inclined to be sick and to have illness with that, especially respiratory things. So promoting that good sleep. We were talking about, well, how in the world do I ensure that my kiddo's not watching TV, at 3 o'clock in the morning, or the TV's not on, disrupting their sleep? And I'm like, all these newfangled TVs have timers. Set your timer. Adults, don't sleep with that TV on all night. My husband used to say, well, I can hear the street out there. And I'm like, get a noise machine that does white noise or has the tropical little sound or the birds, whatever, the rain. Change that kind of ambiance, because the TV being on a lot of electronics being on is disruptive to
Exactly.
our cells. It's
And,
disruptive to our body, our mind, our spirit.
and let me tell you something. We don't supposed to have any electronics in our bedroom.
Well, good.
That is something that we've been adapting.
We have been
Yes,
adapting
we
to.
don't supposed to have any electronics because our brain catch everything.
Exactly. When I first started studying natural health, natural healing and healthy lifestyles, I had studied, her name was Casri Naval, and she was at a place called the Uncommon Herb. I started studying with her before she feng shuied her name.
Hmm.
And I remember her first name was Deborah, but for the life of me, I cannot remember her name before it was feng shui. So she'll always be Casri Naval. Feng Shui is that Japanese art of placement to create ki or chi or wellness balance.
Very powerful tool.
Very powerful tool.
Very powerful.
And what I thought was hilarious was the first thing I learned was get rid of the TV in your bedroom.
Too. The mirrors. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the mirrors, but the TV alone, love blocks.
Yes. Yes.
Your bedroom is your sanctuary. That is, and I'm kind of like, my bed should be my throne, per se.
Yes.
That's my special place.
Yes, you're supposed to, go with nature. You're supposed to have like nature, smell, your essential oils, block all the lights. Sometimes the cars, when they pass by, we can see the reflection in our brain catch everything.
And so
even though when we're sleeping.
Yep. So promoting good sleep is that feng shui, that curtains on the window. Yes. We have room darkening curtains in a couple of our rooms, and it really, really helps.
Yes, yes.
You can get those at Walmart, folks. You can get them at Target, Bed Bath & Beyond. Room darkening. Promote that good sleep area.
Yeah, it's time to start using our tools. We don't know about all these things.
Do you do feng shui?
Yes, I do. I can.
Functional feng shui. Functional feng shui, I think, is like, I remember one thing on feng shui, they were talking about how you have your bed positioned, and I keep dropping this stuff, and the foot of the bed cannot be facing the door.
The door, especially.
And they said that was because it is when they carry the dead out, when someone dies,
go with your feet.
They go feet first out the door.
Yes.
And you know what's really weird? As I was just thinking about that in the hospital. And, I was an ICU nurse. I did ER, ICU, cardiac, and so often, we had patients that died in the hospital. And you know what? They take them out feet first. That just had this like thing.
And that's how it is.
So if you're in nursing, pay attention. Heaven forbid that your patient would transition, but pay attention to how they maneuver, how they work with that body.
Yeah, and you're supposed to have your face to with the sunrise. Because that's when everything starts new, they raise. So if you face and it's like you're receiving your.
So I should face. So in the morning when I'm waking up, I should flip myself over to the east, and then open my eye.
No, you should have your bed.
Oh, my bed facing east. Okay.
Yeah, so when you wake up, is east.
I love that.
That's amazing. And new horizon, see? New day.
A new day.
And
so
as soon as you open your eyes, you can feel the energy of the universe, the sun is really working.
That is so cool. I had never thought about that. And I was like, very, very cool. Oh, we got a couple of messages here. I'm moving my bed today. Didn't know this. And my feet are facing the door. Fifi, I don't want you to die. No.
Take all TVs out.
In fact, actually, let's talk about that in a week or two and see if you notice any changes
Yes.
changing your bed. So if your feet are positioned where they're facing towards that door in your bed, flip your room around and see if you have any changes in that. Because I used to, I didn't laugh about Feng Shui. Other things I would kind of giggle about. But when people would talk about Feng Shui, I wouldn't laugh. Because I would go home and go, yeah. And there's this one where you take like a terracotta pot.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be a natural material. And you fill it with pretty stones.
Mm.
And I want to say you put it like by your door, your front door. And I can't remember if you put it on the left or the right. But anyway, when you do that, it's supposed to promote like finances or money abundance coming into your home, coming into your business. So one day I'm talking to, it was back when I was in nursing school, but I was working in the ER, and I was talking to this nurse, and I was telling her about this Feng Shui remedy. And so she goes home, she gets a terracotta pot, and she goes to, like Dollar Tree, and those bag of the pretty stones.
Yes.
She gets the pretty stones, fills up the terracotta pot, puts it in the thing, doesn't think about it, kind of forgets about it. And then
that's the fate kicking in.
A week or so later, ish, she opens up her drawer and she's looking for like a piece of paper or something specific, and finds $300 bills in the drawer. And she's like, I have no idea where that came from, but I think it was that Feng Shui remedy.
Exactly.
And I was like, Feng Shui is this art of changing that energy, getting that flow going,
Yes.
so that chi or ki or whatever you want to call it can flow in and out.
We have to remember that we are energy and we are connected with everything that's around us. So we have to flow
with that. That's very true.
Don't make no blockages, So.
Oh yeah, it was
great piece.
Oh yeah, we were talking about energy, and it was kind of like as humans or as people or even our animals that we're a low density vibration, and I'm like, I don't know if I like to be referred to as that.
Like to hear that.
But I don't want to be referred to as a high maintenance energy either. I'm like, I can kind of like be in between, but it's like the lower in density that energy, then the more constructed that we are. And then as we transition, that we become lighter. And it's like that 21 grams. They talk about our soul weighs 21 grams. So we've got 21 grams of energy that floats up.
We're not a heavy witches in the wrong planet. If you go to Mars, we weigh less.
That's true. Dang. Where do I want to go to? All right. So promoting good, we were talking about promoting sleep hygiene, and that when you do get that sleep, that you're more focused, that you can follow through. In fact, I think you have a sense of motivation.
Yes.
But one of the things that I like about when I'm feeling that balance is that I notice things, I'm more aware. And especially about being aware of signs from the universe. Whether you want to say your angels are talking to you, universe is talking to you, God, Yahweh, Yeshua, Buddha, whoever, Dios, lo que sea. Whoever, whoever your higher power is, signs of the universe. And what are some examples of signs of the universe?
Well, one of them is very, very common is like physical pain.
Physical pain.
Yes, but we are so used to close our inner talking that we always run to the doctor. And what we do, tell me your symptoms, you tell the symptoms.
They write a prescription.
And you quiet the sign. You quiet the
sign.
Yeah, the universe talks to us all the time. We have to remember the law of the connection. We
That
are
is true.
connected with the universe.
Yes, and when you are experiencing pain or something that is a dysfunction in your body, whether it's pain, nausea, diabetes, hypertension, that is the universe. That is your body actually talking to you, connecting in with it and saying that there's something wrong.
Yes.
And
Another one common message is your financial state.
your financial state has a lot to do with your roots. But
yes, but signs that you don't take, if you lose, bankruptcy is one of them.
Mhm.
That's a way of the universe telling you, be more careful with your money.
Okay, well, okay.
Yeah,
Linda, Mary, stay out of the casino. No. I only take my tip money at the casino. But.
It's just that we have to be perceptive, we have to be aware of all our surroundings. We live really focusing from home, school, kids, work, home,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. And
stay in a strict
the
routine.
time goes flying, and we go to sleep next day, same routine. We don't sleep. We're not resting.
Okay,
So we have to take a break. And
when you start paying attention to, and I don't, and I think it's more difficult to pay attention to those signs when you're out of balance.
yes.
When you're not feeling good, when you're ill, it's more difficult to pay attention to those signs, or perhaps maybe we're even in denial of those signs. And then once you start to get to where you want to be on track, or you want to be in the light, you want to be healing, you want to be that positive vibration, then you start to recognize those positive signs from the universe. And one of the ones that, the first thing that people, when they kind of start awakening, that they talk about are numbers.
Numbers.
And they'll say, every time I check out at the grocery store, it always ends in 11.
11.
Or
333.
333. I look at the clock and it's 11:11.
Yes.
Every time I look at the clock, it's like that triple number. And I was like, well, thank goodness it can never be 666, right, on the clock.
All those are just BS.
What numbers? The vibration of numbers.
We want to connect everything, but we don't believe it. We just have it here because the numbers are signs of the universe, signs of synchronicity. That's how.
I was going to say, because I was like, even in
Synchronicity.
computer programming, numbers mean something, and sequences. And one of the things, because when I was in regular college, when I was in high school and went to college, and it was before I went to nursing school, I struggled in math. It did not make sense to me at all. I had a hard time. And then once I found a reason for mathematics, my crazy hair here, and that actually was nursing and drug calculation, like in IV infusions.
Yes.
And once you see a pattern in the numbers, or it has a meaning for you, numbers then become meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
And they do have a they do have a symbolism to them. Because if I'm like, 11:11, everyone's like, oh my gosh, angels, we are like being anointed. And if I say 666, and everyone's like, oh, it's the devil.
It's because we always connected to the fastest.
Well, what's the symbolism of it?
11:11. It's a message. It's a message from above. Somebody is beside you, an angel, a good energy. 11:11 is a very good high vibration, angelical.
And then 222 has its own, and 3 has its own.
Mm-hmm.
Even 7s, 8s, and 9s. 7, 8, and 9 plays a big role in the Hebrew, early day Hebrew.
Mm-hmm.
With Shemitah, and what year is it? Because this is the year we forgive debt. which I think is what, 7 year 7.
7.
And then the next year is when it's all about you bring in that vibration of creating abundance with that. So it's like, you know, we do place a lot of thought process into signs from the universe.
We are connected.
I mean, think about, I mean, when people see a cardinal, or, you know, the red bird, the red cardinal, what's the first thing we think of? Oh, there's somebody from the other side.
It's spirit, like spirit guide. It's
spirit guide,
spirit messenger. Sorry.
One of my nieces, Sylvia, was really, really close to one of her uncles. And on her dad's side, she was like very, very, very close to him. And when he died, she took that just really hard.
Wow.
I mean, it affected her body, mind, and spirit. And I remember we were actually sitting in this room and we were talking and we looked out the window right over here. And there's this big old fat chunky monkey red cardinal.
Oh my God.
Just literally dancing back and forth on the little windowsill, and she's looking over there, and I'm looking over there, and I'm like, whoa, there's your uncle.
Yes, yes.
Rock on, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, there are a lot of signs and symbols that are out there. There are a lot, and I believe in angels.
Yes, of course.
And I believe, you know, I've seen them several times. I feel them, I connect them. You know, signs of the universe, butterflies.
You know,
Hummingbirds.
Hummingbirds, especially hummingbirds, are divine birds.
You know, that's like a divine, it's like that dragonfly.
We are so disconnected, you know, we are so disconnected. But we are energy part of all of this.
You know, I think an important part of that is that you know, you have to cultivate a desire to receive and to see these. As we can live our life and go, I don't need to see anything at all. I'm doing this. I'm looking ahead on my path. Or we can be, I'm not paying attention to my path, but I'm looking at your path.
See,
and then we can be like, hey.
We are distracted.
We are. I don't know what it is about me and those cards. I guess I need to give a shout out to them. I'll put it right there. But, you know, so the cultivating the desire to receive. And sometimes people go, how do I receive? How do I make myself open?
Be present.
Be present. There's a really cool book, and I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's by Pam Grout, Grout, just like the stuff in between the tiles.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called E Squared.
No, I
And
haven't.
then she also has a book called E Cubed. And E is, you know, energy, right?
Yes.
And so what her book is it has, I want to say like 7 or 8 exercises in there in how to see universe, how to recognize those signs, to recognize that energy is around you. And the very first exercise that's in the book, and now you kind of sign this little contract with yourself on this, and then I'm going to kind of like Marisize it for you, but, you know, kind of like shrink it down and make it real, like I can do this today, is you give yourself a time frame in this. And so, you know, in 48 hours. So I like 48 hours. I like the show, and then that's 2 days, 48 hours kind of sounds cool, right? And so I say within 48 hours, I want to see source or energy, whatever you want to call it, in the form of, and you got this blank, and you choose what you want to see source as. So, like in the wintertime, if we were snowing, and I was maybe like in a rural area, I might say red roses. And let's see red roses. You might see pictures. Somebody might send you a rose, bring you a rose. You might, you know, like I said, see a picture or an ad in a magazine. I like to pick out things that are a little quirky. And, you know, you could say like a pink VW.
Yeah.
Yeah, something that's a little quirky. You know, I might say monarch butterflies that are pink.
Something that is out of the ordinary,
Something
so
out of the ordinary.
that's your answer, because the universe listens to us.
It does. And so that's a great exercise just to start with.
Mm-hmm.
But the book is E Squared, E with a 2, and it is by Pam Grout, Grout. It's an older book. It's probably like 10, 15 years old, something like that. But for those of you that are new to energy and trying to figure out what the heck do they mean by signs from the universe, this is a great book to get started on.
Yes.
But you have to have that you have to have that desire to see.
Yes. Take a minute and breathe and talk to the universe. Okay, universe.
Okay, and
send me a sign that you are listening to me.
You might get a bunch of ears, like an ear of corn, something with the ear like this, or whatever. Pay attention, because once you ask and you shall receive.
It will shower you.
It will. It literally
shower you with answers.
You'll get that. Make note of recurring experiences, whether it's being recurring dreams, if you keep having the same dream over and over and over again.
That's another way that the universe to talk to you, to send you signs through. If you hear a song, it gets stuck in your head, I can get enough of you, and I can get enough of you. You just going, well, why?
Mine was an ace of base. I saw the sign. It opened up my mind. I saw the sign. So it's like paying attention, being very, very noticing those things, noticing repetition. If there's
deja vu.
Oh yeah, deja vu. God, deja vu's always kind of freaked me out, and I'm like, yeah, I think I was here before. Fine tune your sensitivity. That's why I like that Pam Grout book. It teaches you gives you some really great little skills on how to fine tune that and create this awareness that you have, and just surrender and
one of the things,
surrender. Just allow it to flow.
Just think this way. What do I have to lose?
Yeah, you don't really have that much to lose.
Start using your tools the universe give you.
One of the things is don't overcomplicate it. That's people sometimes want to look really, 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 really deep into something, and it's like, no, man, it was really about the fact that we need to go eat some chocolate. That there was nothing deep in there. It was a fact of water's good for your body. Whatever. Sometimes things do have deep, intricate meanings, though, and so I'm not going to discount that, but don't assume everything is really, really deep. And just
one of the things that we don't stop and breathe. We don't. We always here, there, and I have to get it.
Breathing is a fine art.
Yeah,
breathing is a fine art.
Very good.
We have some meditations that are going to be coming up really soon, and some like group chakra balancing, and we focus a chunk of that meditation is focused on breathing. Because I have to agree with that, is we don't breathe correctly.
Take a 5 minutes break in your morning when you start your morning. God is the number one. Take those 5 minutes.
Breathing in, filling up those lungs, stretching out that diaphragm.
Yes, today is a good day.
I also I love to sing. I don't sing very well personally, but I love to sing. And I notice that when I am breathing better and that I have focused my attention, that actually things sound a lot more clear in this area. So I do love that breathing on there. But paying attention to those signs is really important for you to be able to connect in with that etheric, that energy.
Yeah.
If you're getting, if it keeps coming up, those numbers or themes, that's something that you need to connect with and work on often.
Another thing, joy is another sign, big sign, joy. If you don't feel happy, it's because it's time to make a change. If you don't feel happy in your job, just step back and see what is it that is bothering me. The universe is telling you something good coming, but you need to let this go. Change, make a change, connect. It's just a connection.
Sometimes, like especially when you're getting negative messages in regard to something, you're right. That is a big symbol. That is a big sign of needing change. That we're stagnant energy. We need to move on.
It might be inner change. It might be outside. That's why meditation is very important, to connect with yourself, with your higher self.
And paying attention on
disconnect from all the noise.
Oh, that's my favorite part, is just disconnecting. That's kind of why I like coming into my studio on the weekends, is that I can come in here and close that door and it's just me.
That's the only way you get to know you.
Very true.
By being
very
alone
true.
And connect with everything that is around you.
Now, we were talking about my tattoo on my arm. I have tattoos.
There you go, the Feng Shui. Without even knowing.
Yep, we were talking about fun, and then we were kind of, and so I went like this, and this is my left arm, and I'm like this, and she said, do you realize, she goes, what does that say? And I was like, well, it's Hebrew, the Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, which is one of the many names of God. And I laughed, and not really laughed, but I laughed, I'm kind of like, so 2 reasons is that, if I ever get dementia, remember what that says. And then I know she's like, God, I can't believe she said that. And then the other thing is God forbid, that the end of times might occur and people want to question what team I play for. Here we go. But then she said, do you realize the symbolism of this? The symbol right here, your heart, it's in alignment with your heart. And I went, wow.
With the vibration of Jesus Christ, God.
The vibration of Jesus,
divine.
But that divine.
Right,
and I was like, I don't even.
This is where we have our sparkle.
Well, and do you know, this was horrific.
At what age did you do that? You knew that you was going to be in this path?
I was already on this path. Shauna Dockery had turned me on to this guy named Gordon Canada. That's at Designer Tattoo. So here's my shout out, right? I don't have that number, but it's a Midwest city. And anyway, Gordon, I met him through Shauna, and when I went in, I said, I kind of like send him some pictures, kind of what I want, and then I go in there, and he'll go, this is what I created for you. And so at first I wanted just the letters, and the rose,
the symbol, the red.
It's that is blood, but the rose also is very symbolic for who? But La Virgencita de Guadalupe. And so when the Virgin Mary had presented herself to Juan Diego, she opens up her cloak, and it's full of roses, red roses. So there's my Mary kick in there.
And this one too is the first chakra, the connection with our Mother Gaia.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. So
very strong.
But let me just tell you, this sucker took a long time to heal. I'm telling, almost a year.
Ooh.
Almost a year for completion I think he touched it up when it was about 7-8 months old. It needed it, because it was not an easy tattoo. So, yeah, but
meaningful.
It's meaningful.
Very meaningful.
I did do some suffering with that. I'm like, yeah, only Gordon can tell you, because he would just look at me like, tell your dogs to stop laying on your arm.
And who suffered too when he was in the class.
Oh,
and there it is.
Yeah.
La conexión del infinity.
Yep. I was going to say, because on my right arm, I have a blue lotus. And the blue lotus is significant for that highest level. So
Exactly.
I don't know if I'm at that highest level, but hey, I'm gonna roll with that today. I think I wax and wane out of that, and that's a part of growth. A lot of times people,
Exactly.
they get really, especially it's like we get to this point and then we fall back a little bit, or maybe we fall down and scrape our knees, and sometimes they're really bloody. Metaphorically speaking, a lot of times I think people have this vision that healers are always in a state of perfection,
Wrong.
and that ministers are always pure of heart. No, we go through trials and tribulations just like everybody else. Unfortunately, not everybody remembers that. I have a really good friend that is a 1-800 or 1-800 psychic. And I did do that job a long time ago, and we were talking about it, and I was like, oh yeah, I think I would like to start doing that again.
Mm-hmm.
It's been like 30 years, 40 years, really, probably 30 years. And she was like, don't do it at your house. And I'm like, what, does my house not have good vibe or what, And she was like, don't do it at your house. She says, you have dogs and a cat and a chicken.
That's right.
Yeah, I have dogs, cat, and a chicken, and they're all BFFs. And she's like, don't do that. And I'm like, why wouldn't I do that?
Mm.
And she looks at me and she says, they'll hear your dogs bark, or your cat meow, or the chicken do its little thing. And people, when they call, they don't want to talk to a human. They want something of pure perfection.
Yeah,
And so I was like, crap, I can't do that at home. All right, so, the same thing is that as a healer, our clients, our followers, or whatever, they don't want to ever perceive us of being out of balance.
Or being just like regular people.
Or being like regular people. So it's like, oh, all of a sudden, I have to be about peace, love, and harmony 100% of the time.
Mm.
And I'm like, life is not ever going to be 100% of anything other than your life. And
exactly.
there are things that will cross your path that you have to adjust.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe change and modify that perspective, but you will not always be hugging a tree.
Exactly.
Day in, day out.
Mm-hmm.
You're living in a fallacy, in a fantasy, if things don't make or don't create a sense of anger or a need to change. You're living in a fallacy.
Exactly.
So, that's kind of intense. I think that's going to be a good podcast when we'll talk about living in a fallacy. And I'm not, okay. Anyway.
We are human beings, but we are more receptive, because of the tools.
Because of the tools. And I think that probably the best part for me is in my growth is to be able to step back and go, okay, I need to chill the heck out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to step back, wind star, here I come, mount, I'm going to go out and, Lake Draper or whatever. I'm going to ground. I'm going to disconnect and ground and get myself back in.
We got to start recognizing the signs of our bodies. That's
even if they're the unpleasant signs. I know we're like want to focus for everything being cool, but not everything's cool. So
yes.
One of the, this weekend, this Sunday, we have the Reiki one. It's CPR for the soul. It is the intro class. It is CPR for the soul. It's how you get your hands on self-care. And then also how you can also help with the care of your family utilizing Reiki. The class is on Sunday, the Sunday the 19th, and I'm having an airhead moment. I want to say it's at 1 o'clock. To like 5:30. It's about a 4.5 hour class. If it's a smaller class, we're not here that late. But it is the first degree class. It is the certificate of completion. The fee for the class is $55. You can go online and purchase your ticket to reserve your spot, or feel free to give me an email at Oklahoma Reiki Connection at gmail.com and reserve your spot for that class. And I will send you an invoice for payment.
Yes.
Class must be paid for before class. That way I ensure plenty of seating and all of the materials that you need for success in the CPR class. CPR for the soul, not CPR regular, but Reiki, CPR for the soul. Let me reword that. I used to teach CPR, and I do not teach that anymore, like regular CPR. We also have the Shodan class, that is the first degree class that is for our certification program. That's currently going. Fuel. Oh, I like that. Fuel for Life. Shodan. Reiki is Fuel for Life.
Yes.
And then if you're already a first degree, you can start on the certification class. So a certified Okuden or Reiki second degree practitioner, and that will start at the end of February. But just reach out to me and I will help you get enrolled for that class. The certification class is like some 60 hours of class, but you really learn how to be a effective, competent, rock on groovy Reiki practitioner, so that you can offer your clients wonderful professional healing with that.
And also can help your family,
Your family, yeah. I like the second degree. I think the second degree is really an eye-opener in healing, because you get to learn all the different techniques. You learn the symbols, and then you learn how to incorporate those into a treatment plan with that.
Yes.
And with that in mind, I had said about Julieta Fernandez, and this is Julieta. She's our guest host today. She does holistic care, Reiki practitioner, and does some channeling. I'm not a channeler. She is. Yeah, so she does the Akashic records.
Español, gente latina bonita.
Yep. Do you speak English?
Yes, ma'am.
She does speak English. I'm just jacking with her because they look at me and they go, "Do you speak Spanish?" And I go, "Oh, yo hablo español."
She does
Spanglish, but
Spanglish.
I don't remember as much, and I probably should start practicing and practicando más. Así yo puedo hablar más con mi gente, con mis clientes. But anyway, Reiki practitioner in Spanish, holistic care, channeling. Her number for contact is 714-499-3695. Please put nice things on the bathroom wall if you put her number on there. Nice things. For a good channeling call.
Yes.
You know. And then the other person that I would like to give a shout out to today is Gabriela Perez. She is a vibrational healer.
Hey,
she is working on her Reiki Master with me. She is doing the Shinpiden program, and that's like another 60 million hours of hardcore, not that kind of hardcore, but hardcore master training. And so she'll be like locked at my side 4 hours a week. And so we are offering, starting on February 4th, we have the Master Student Clinic, and so we will accept 1 or 2 patients a day for Reiki healing. We don't have a set fee for this, but we do accept love donations. Hint, hint. Those monies on the love donations, just for the record, go to promoting the school, paying the bills that are incorporated from the school. We really, it's not about making money for us. It is about helping you get connected and you being enlightened and empowered to live a life of natural healing and natural lifestyles, so that you are not dependent on the man, as I like to say, for your well-being. Healing starts from inside, and you are accountable for your own healing.
Amen to that.
Again, Aline is out on a family emergency, so friends and followers, please send her and her family a lot of love. They're going through some very difficult times. Her daddy is very, very ill. He is terminal in his illness, and they have given him very limited time. So please keep Aline Lim, Lim. She's the Curious Roots. Please keep Aline and her family in your thoughts and prayers, and send a lot of light and love in her direction. She's really struggling with that, and having to get on the road. And I think today she will be on the road going home to Georgia to spend some last days with her dad. So with that in mind, please send light and love to her. Hook a sister up with that light and love. She really needs it. So anything in closing, my beautiful friend?
Thank you. I just want to say thank you for receiving this beautiful nutritious information for your soul.
For yourself. I love that. That's so cool. That is breakfast show. This little girl wants to go run down to Brahms and get some sausage biscuit gravy.
Let's
So
go.
I'm going to Brahms. We'll see you later. Peace, love, and harmony. How about do a little random act of kindness today? Even if it's just giving somebody a smile, you might make their day. So totally worthwhile. Peace, love, and harmony. I hope to see you very soon.
Thank you.
And she said, breathe.
Breathe.
Profundamente.
Acepta los regalos que tiene el universo para todos.
And she says, accept those gifts that the universe has for you. Peace, love, and harmony. Catch up with you soon. And hey, do some lavender on your kids' feet tonight. Let that baby get some sleep. Misa, that's for you. I didn't want to blast you on Facebook, so I did not. But Misa, get that damn diffuser going and diffuse the hell out of it.
Bye.